Hey everyone, Cody here with Let's Talk About Scents. Today we're going to be talking about a small fragrance house out of upstate New York by the name of JINXSMELLS. The creator of JINXSMELLS, Clay, and his team have been so gracious enough to send me over 5 samples of their up-and-coming fragrances. I believe he told me that they are soon to launch here on, I think, August 1st, I believe is what he spoke. There's been a lot going on. There's a lot to take in on these fragrances. I have rattled my brain on these. These are Oud Centric Animalic fragrances with so many layers and so much depth. We're going to try and go over it all. I'm going to tell you notes in these fragrances, what I picked up on these fragrances, everything that I can, and cram it into a video before I lose the attention of all of my viewers. So, without any further on that, let's get into a little bit about the company. Let me tell you about Clay and what he's doing over there at JINXSMELLS. Alright everyone, so a little bit about what Clay and his team are doing over at JINXSMELLS. They are handcrafting all natural Oud Centric and Animalic fragrances. That's typically what they specialize in. These are powerhouse longevity and projection fragrances, absolutely trying to push the boundaries on what we know as naturals. These are filled with tons of ingredients. I mean, I'm talking like no expense spared ingredients. He does not use a third party. They are creating all this stuff in their fragrance house by themselves, him and his team. Hand-painted bottles, which I'm going to leave his Patreon and his Instagram information in the description below. So when you get done with this video, you'll have to go and check it out. He's doing awesome things over there. Over on the Patreon, I mean, we're talking raffles, giveaways. Even on the Instagram, he just had a giveaway. Gave away a bottle of his heater fragrance, which we're going to get into and talk about here in a little bit because he sent me a sample of that one. So, fantastic. Again, everything that he's doing over there is all hand done, which I think is fantastic. Just cutting out that third party, having full control over your craft and what you want it to be without there having to be any kind of input or limitations from anyone else. It's awesome. It's one of the ways that I feel everyone should do it. I mean, just to have that leeway and get your name out there and what you want. But everyone, let's get into some of the notes and what I took from these fragrances, what I feel they smelled like. You're going to have to excuse me though. I took so many notes as I was showing you at the start of the video. I'm going to have to read from them because there are so many layers to these fragrances and so many notes in these. If I do not read from my piece of paper, we are going to get lost in the fragrance and in the notes. So bear with me. I'm going to look down a few times. I'm sorry, but I got to. You would understand if you had these on your plate. I promise you, you're going to need to take notes. So, first one up is going to be Rosaroo. He has wrote that the ingredients in this are Puey Rose, White Rose, Citric Rose, Candied Rose, Tibetan Musk, White Ambergris, and Clementine. I swear to God, this fragrance has frankincense in it. I'm not entirely sure because I did not see it listed, but I pick up a strong frankincense in this fragrance, which is very enjoyable. But other than that frankincense in this fragrance, you are going to be hit with oud and rose. That is exactly, yes, that is exactly what's on this fragrance. I've had it sprayed on that tester strip right there for probably about, I'd say 20 minutes now, sitting here doing all the other parts of this video, and it is still oud and rose with that frankincense smell. Then there is a very fresh kind of, it's not like an aloe, it's more like a like a eucalyptus like quality in the background of it. It is my favorite of the fragrance. That's why I wanted to start with this one. Absolutely love it. It was my wife's favorite out of the bunch as well. Really enjoyable fragrance. Love that one. So most definitely check that one out. All right. Next up on our list is going to be Jasminal. So Jasminal has pure jasmine, cacao, Siberian deer musk, castoreum, beaver tail oil, black sumbok oud, Mysore santal and cedar, tonka, tobacco, and spices. I can smell the cacao in it now that it's dried down on my tester strip, and a very soft creaminess from the jasmine that is in it. The thing is though, right at the start of this fragrance, you are hit with an abundant amount of that musk. It is musky as I'll ever get out right off the bat. But there is still that very, very slight creaminess and that richness of that cacao in the background the entire time. But it is a straight musk right out of the gate. But the dry down on this one, very, very enjoyable. That cacao and that very, very soft jasmine creamy quality that it gives, really, really nice. Super, super great fragrance. If you love musky fragrances, jasmine fragrances, that one is a most definite to check out for sure. All right, next up is Clicking Frog. Clicking Frog has black currant, bergamot, pink pepper, tuberose, vintage patchouli from 1978, Inser's santal royal, younger timber sandalwood infused with Siberian deer musk, myrrh, beeswax, and nutmeg. Even JINX wrote that this is the most complex of the fragrances, and you can pretty much tell from the notes that I just listed that it has a lot of layers and a lot going on with it. So I would most definitely agree with him that it is the most complex. I racked my brain on this one. It's right at the start, it's musky, but very, very floral at the same time. So really nice. It's got a spiciness in it. I'm not sure what it is in there. Maybe, I don't know. I wouldn't imagine the nutmeg. Maybe like a almost smells like cumin. It's got like a cumin like quality to it. Smoky. It's got a sweetness to it from maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe that spiciness could be coming from the pink pepper. Not really sure on this one. Has so many layers to this fragrance. I can't even begin to describe. This one changes so much as you're wearing it. It almost has like a green, like a greenness to the santal that's in it. It's really quite interesting. This is a crazy scent. If you are interested and looking for something that you're going to surprise yourself with while you're wearing it, the amount of layers and cycles that you're going to go through, Clicking Frog is most definitely that one. It's really nice. There's a sweetness and a smokiness to it. you've got that spiciness. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's from, I'm not sure what it's from in that. I don't know if it's from that pink pepper or what, but really, really interesting on this one. You gotta check it out, man. I'm telling you, you've got to get samples of all these just to experience what I'm experiencing. All right, next up is Heater. Heater, as he has listed, this is all I could find on the ingredients. It says oud smoke, incense, and oud. And I'll just go ahead and tell you, it's very, very, very smoky. Full on smoky fragrance. Dry down, has a sweetness to it. Not entirely sure. Almost smells like it has maybe orris. I would say maybe like orris in the fragrance. Not sure. Chew. Yeah. Opening is super smoky. I should have waited a second, waved it off before I took that breath in. It's got that smokiness to it. Almost a resinous quality, like a resin incense smokiness with just a little bit of sweetness in the background. If you're into resinous smoky fragrances, this right here, nail on the head, man. Absolutely wild. All right, everybody, last but not least is Fatta Morgana. Notes listed on this one are vanilla, tonka bean, clove, sambuc, osmanthus, honeysuckle, neroli, French cedar, lavender, sweet orange, salt, eucalyptus, Thai oud, santal, and then a quadruple so much white ambergris. And he was right, because what you're going to get off of this fragrance right in the opening is that Thai oud and that white ambergris. It is an immediate burst of it. That's exactly what it is. You can pick up on that salt. There's a huge saltiness to it. I, again, pick up a little bit later into when this fragrance starts to dry down. I get that eucalyptus, almost the exact same way that you got from that Rosaroo. It's just in the background, just kind of hanging out there. Other than that, this one dries down. To me, there's a spiciness from the clove. Frankincense really shines through, and then a lot of that honeysuckle. So oud, white ambergris, honeysuckle, clove kind of spiciness, and then that frankincense. Really, really great fragrance. Probably my second favorite out of all of them, behind Rosaroo. Rosaroo's still my top and my wife's top, but if I had to go with a second favorite, it is the Fatta Morgana. Fantastic, man. I mean, there you have it. That's all 5 of his fragrances. Like I said, I'm gonna leave everything in the description below. Go and check out these fragrances, these samples. I know I said at the start, I believe he's going to release these August 1st. So you're going to want to get your hands on these. These are super interesting, super neat fragrances. Tons of layers to them. You're going to be almost in the mind of a mad fragrance scientist. I have no complaints with them. One of my favorite things about fragrance is the subjectiveness. I've always said this for a very long time. Fragrance is the most subjective of our 5 senses. And the great thing about that is all 5 of these on the table, of course, are not my favorite fragrances in the world. And of course, they're not someone else's favorite fragrances in the world, but they're fantastic in their own sense. They are fantastic that there's so many different layers to it. And I'm telling you right now, it goes that way with any fragrance, regardless. What your favorite is not going to be somebody else's favorite. There are tons of fragrances that I spray on that I'm absolutely obsessed with, that I think are the best fragrances in the world. But then whenever I wear them around my wife, she cannot stand them and she smells something completely different than I do. That is going to be with anything. That is that subjectiveness of fragrance. What one smells, another one is going to smell something different. It's fantastic. I love it. Absolutely love that about fragrance. That's why I got into it. That's why I got into checking out new and different fragrances. That's why I'm so fragrance obsessed, is I cannot get over the fact that every time I put my nose on something, regardless of what it is, natural, synthetic, cologne, toilette, parfum, extrait, it does not matter. It's always going to smell different. Even if the same ingredients are in that bottle, they are going to be housed from someplace different. They are going to be obtained from someplace different, different seasons. There's so many things that go into these fragrances, and what make them great. He has put so much work into these samples that he has sent me and into these bottles, and so much passion and heart behind them. And I'm telling you, you can smell it in them. Absolutely in love with it. You're going to want to check it out. Trust me, man. Like, they're super cool. It's so much fun to play around with them. It's literally like an experiment every single time you spray one on. You're going to go through so many cycles. So just mark my words on that. Make sure that you check it out. Okay. All right, guys, before we wrap this up, I want to go in here and tell you about JINXSMELLS, about Clay, and their donation of 10% to getwell.org. At the end of the year, all the money that they're making off of their fragrances, bottles, samples, whatever it may be, they are donating 10% of it to getwell.org, which is absolutely fantastic and shows a great gratitude and respect from me, and I'm sure many others, that all of their time and effort going into making these fragrances is not only strenuous and hard work as it is, but putting all of their money and their extra time into it, only to turn around and donate at the end of it all. I think it's fantastic. Super cool of them to do that. So be sure to go and check out their Patreon and their Instagram for more information on that. But that's going to wrap it up for JINXSMELLS. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you took anything from it and enjoyed what you've seen and what you heard in this review, show some love in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, share if you would like. Turn on that bell notification. I've got lots and lots of more reviews coming up here in the future. I've got a lot of things set up that I think is really going to catch a lot of people's eyes. So be sure to stay tuned, and I look forward to seeing you all again. Left everything in the description below. Be sure to go and check out JINXSMELLS, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.